Welcome, Modern Talkers. This is Modern Talk. Modern Talk. Why? Sometimes I'm a little too business-minded. I go when and where. Like when I do business with someone, that sounds more important than it is. It's just like doing something for money for someone, which sounds gross, you know? But I definitely sound like a hooker there. But that's what everyone does. Everyone just does stuff for money. But people hate sex work because they're not having sex with that person. Figured it out, dude. Everyone's doing sex work, but, you're just not doing sex. What's the difference? I don't know. I don't even think that's true or real. But, just trying to be funny. But when I do my sex work, I like to be wined and dined a little bit sometimes. Like, oh, how was your trip? By the way, is this okay? Blah, blah, blah. And then, or, like, how's your day? Like, how's your dog? I don't have a dog. But, like that. And then sometimes I'm like, quit buttering me up and just like, let's get to it, which that sounds sexual too now, because everything sounds sexual after the hooker thing. But, I don't know, that it's weird that sometimes I'm like, boom, 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 let's bang it out. And sometimes I'm like, take me out to dinner first. What's going on? Anyway, so that was that. This might be a short one because I feel like not a lot talkable happened this week. Yeah, so I love this phrase that I heard for the first time at Pine Valley, which is a camp that I worked at, and this was like 2014-ish, and the phrase is hurt people, and it sounds like redundant and repetitive, but if you break it down, it really makes sense, and it's just a cool phrase that has like a deep meaning. So people that are hurting want to like not put off, but like redirect that hurt and hurt someone else, and it makes them feel better. It's like a basic thing that kind of everyone knows. But that was the first time I heard that, and it was in high school, and I was like, wow, like that's so true. But I never heard it phrased like that. So remember if someone does hurt you or tries to hurt you, especially, know that they're hurting too. So be the one to break the cycle, and don't hurt people, because loved people love people as well. So don't forget to be loving and not hateful or hurtful. Either one is not great, but I know that's really hard, and it's like a stupid thing to say because it's like obvious, but you have to tell yourself that sometimes to remember it, because it's all in the remembering. Yesterday I was on the way to lunch, and then after that was therapy, and it was like 1 or something, 1:30, yeah, 1:30, and I went out of my office building, and right before I got out, I heard and I was like, who's listening to that music in their office or something? And when I got outside, I saw Mr. Softy was like pulled up on the curb so people could get it, and I started walking to my car, and I was like, that's the good one, because there's ice cream trucks that just have like those things in a wrapper, like the SpongeBob with the like looks like that. And the Transformers are back. They haven't been here for a while, but I think we're doing this later than usual, so maybe that's what's happening. But I was like, Mr. Softy, that's the good one. And I know from Curb Your Enthusiasm that that's the ice cream truck, like the good ice cream truck, and from the song. And that's a good episode. Anyway, so so I was like, should I get before lunch? I don't know, maybe. And I was like, well, let's just go over and see what it is, because I didn't know if it was like for a specific thing that I was just early or late for, because there was no one else there, and I walked up to the side of it and like looked at what they had, and they had more than I thought, because I think I had it once before. The church here had it once for some sort of occasion, and it was good, and so they had I saw later they had eggnog milkshake, which I should have got, but I didn't see that until after, because they just hand wrote it on the thing, so it wasn't noticeable until like you looked really closely, because I only looked, like, my brain was like, okay, look at the blocked, like look at the stuff that they printed on there or whatever. I didn't consider looking at the scribbles on the. Anyway, so I got a ice cream cone with those like strawberry crunch thingies on it. I'll put a picture on it of it. But it was really good, and the ice cream itself was really good, which I feel like people don't do that anymore, especially like I noticed it most, I feel like, with Dairy Queen. They put a bunch of stuff in it, and that's good, but the ice cream alone is just like cold milk, or something like not great. So I'm glad I got it, and I recommend, if you get the opportunity, because I lived here for like a year and a half or something. Yeah, a year and a half or something, and I only got the opportunity to see one once at the church, and I think it's not in Pittsburgh, I think. But anyway, I haven't seen one in Pittsburgh, at least. So I was like, well, just the opportunity of it, I should go for it. Also, I've been trying to, I think I talked about this before, but I'm trying to do things that don't make sense, like logically, or rationally, and do things that like I follow my heart for, because I think your heart, like, this isn't scientific or whatever, but I think your heart knows more than your brain does. So even if it doesn't make sense in that moment, you have to follow your heart, because it was before, like I said, it was before lunch, and it was cold. It was like the coldest it's been so far here. So it didn't make sense to do that, but I'm glad I did. It was fun. And then I got it went on my pants, and that was funny. At the end of the cone, I bit the top of it, and then it squirted out the bottom. And I was driving, and so that was really fun. But I cleaned it up really fast, and I don't think it smelled, which usually, rotting milk smells really bad. But I got it up in time, I think. And yeah, so don't do things that make sense. And maybe I said this last time too, but pretty sure I did, but it's a good reminder. People on their deathbed said, yeah, I definitely said this, say don't do what makes sense, like follow your heart. Like, oh, I should go to school, I shouldn't travel to Bolivia for a month, or but that ends up being like the best part of your life, and that's what you're thinking about on your deathbed, like, dang, I'm so glad I did that. I'm not glad that I went to frickin' Yale for 3 years and whatever. Um, I still don't know what happened fully, but I guess I'll talk about it. Uh, so we had, I told you about my friend who we hang out every Sunday and watch football and go to Waffle House and then get Krispy Kreme after church, all that after church. So, so the past 2 weeks I've been out of town and he's been out of town. So, so we haven't done it in two weeks or whatever. And then I was excited to do that ritual, or routine is a better word, to do that with him again. And then they were doing a Christmas party here at the church. And so after church, everyone was helping set up for it. And I was planning on not going because because I didn't believe it would be a good party for some reason. But I got roped into helping set up and stuff, which I don't mind helping usually. But I had a bad case of the "you don't tell me what to do's." I don't know why that happened. There's must be something deeper going on that I need to deal with. But yeah, so I was just really poopy about, just had a bad attitude about the whole thing, and I was like, I'm not even gonna come tonight. And then my Myrtle mom was like, yes you are, we've been looking forward to this. And I was like, no, you've been looking forward to this. I didn't ever really want to go. She's like, here, do you know how to set up the table? And I was like, not really. I learned it in home ec 20 years ago in high school. And I remember we actually took a test on it, and I got it. I remember I nailed it when I took that test, but I don't know, if you don't set a table in 10 years, I think that's something you forget. It's not like a bicycle. So she's like, here, okay, the plate's already down. Now put the napkins down. And I was like, okay. And so I just kind of placed them on top of the plates or something. And then she's like, no, you gotta fold the napkins and put it on the left. And I was like, what is this is a church party? Is that really necessary? And she's like, come on, people like it or whatever. And I was like, I don't think I would even notice this if people did this. Anyway, and if I did, I'd be like, what? You don't need to do that. I'm gonna pick it up and use it to eat anyway, so what's the difference? And then so I started folding, and she's like, no, the folded side has to go toward the plate. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me! Why? And then she was like, the knife goes on the outside and the sharp side goes toward the plate, or vice versa. I don't even remember now. And then the spoon, and then the fork, and then usually you have two forks because one's a salad. And I was like, I knew that one, but I don't know why I always remember that one, but I always remember that that there's usually two forks, and usually there's a smaller one. Traditionally there's a smaller one, and that's for salad. But I don't eat salad anyway. So I was being a really poopy pants McGee, and and we finally got done, and we finally got to watching football, and I was still in a bad mood, and I didn't know why. And she thought it was because the holidays, you don't have anyone, you're sad. And I don't know that was it, but maybe at some capacity it was. But because I've been alone at least a half a year now or something crazy, more than half a year. But so I haven't been especially sad about that in a while. And I guess the holidays would trigger that, I guess, or something, but I just don't think it was that. And then, so I was talking about this in therapy, and so I was trying to figure out what happened or what was going on. And she thinks that maybe it was my child self was coming out, because I said, I was like, I felt like I was like a kid, like I was just like, I don't want to, like that is so stupid, but that's how I was acting. um, and it was weird because uh, at one point, I don't know if it was always like this, but I noticed that um, I knew I was going to end up going, just because of, that's how it goes. Um, and but I still wanted to push back, but I also wanted them to try to force me to go still. Um, so it was weird that like I was aware of that, but I couldn't stop it. Like I still felt like stupid, like a poopy pants. And uh, yeah, so I was talking in therapy, and she thinks it's something to do with my child self, and um, we did this like guided something or other, where I like tried talking to my child self, and it was like, before, like people talked about, like past therapists have talked about like, oh, this might stem from your childhood. I was like, I don't care, dude. Let's talk about right now. Like, I don't know. That never like interested me. Like, yeah, like there's stuff that carries over from your childhood, but let's figure out right now. I'm here to figure out myself right now. But in order to figure yourself out now, you have to go back in time and figure out what caused you to be like this, whatever. So we did this thing, and like she like gave prompts like, what is he saying, and um, try to comfort him or something, and or whatever. And so I was trying to like find it in myself, to like represent how I feel, how I felt as a child, and then who I am now, whoever that is, whatever that is, um, and try to like interact with that, which is really bizarre. And I just tried to picture that imagery, even though it was not like, I wouldn't consider it a vision or whatever, but it was just a representation of those feelings, if that makes sense. So she was like, how old is he? And I was like, I guess he's 9. I don't know. And he had long hair, because I had long hair when I was a kid too. So like it was really, really bizarre. Because I don't think about myself as like, when I think about myself as a kid, like I think about myself now in that kind of situation. But that's not who was in that situation. Like, he was just a little baby boy. And then we had this interaction, and I don't know that part's important, but well, I remember he said like, I'm tired. But anyway, so because she thought maybe it was something to do with like me not wanting to do stuff as a kid, and what that stemmed from and stuff. And all that came was, I'm tired. I don't know if that's, that was helpful or anything, but so then finally she was like, see if there's anything else he wants to say. And I was like, I learned this at Pine Valley too, actually. When you're interacting with a kid, if you can get on your knee to get at their level, so they don't feel like intimidated by like looking up and being like, oh, you're a big adult, that's not as scary. And you literally just come down to their level and just interact that way. So I was doing that, and so she was like, ask him if there's anything else he wants to say or whatever. And he said, I love you, and then hugged me. and then that was like crazy. um, and then as I got up from kneeling, uh, he like formed into me. It was like really weird. Um, like I got up from kneeling and hugging him, and like he was facing me, obviously, like you know what a hug is, right, guys? Um, and he just like formed into me as I stood up, and I was like really trippy. Um, so now I'm trying to be like more aware of my child self and take care of him in a way, if that makes sense. I don't know. It seems really woo woo, whatever, but um, it's it's interesting to think about it that way. Um, uh, and so last night at kickball, you know, we got to talk about kickball. Um, I thought this would be a really short one. I don't know how long it's been, but this is way longer than I thought it could be or would be. Um, it always happens to do that. Like I just, when I'm in front of this, I just think of more stuff. And the other thing about the child self thing, I was like, I hope he's proud of me, like who I became. Um, it's so weird to think about. Like I had, how could you, like when I was a kid, there's no way I could conceive that I am who I am now. Um, like the fact that I ever, you know, it always comes back to relationships with me and stuff, but the fact that I ever like had a girlfriend is like mind-boggling to 9-year-old me or whatever. That's still mind-boggling to me, honestly, but it's like inconceivable for 9-year-old me. Yeah, it's so hard to be a kid. But so last night at kickball, because you know we gotta talk about kickball. We were not playing well, and people were saying, "Oh, keep it low," because who we were playing were. This is so annoying. So I think people could relate to this because people being out of the league is like not cool. So the people we played, they played in the league. There's like different levels of the leagues, not obviously, but they're like some people are just like really, really good and really serious about kickball, and then there's some people that just want to have fun, you know. And I'm kind of in the middle, I guess. But so they were in the higher league with the like, you know, very serious people, and they were tired of like the bickering that came along with like being in the higher one, and so they came down to this one, and they just dominated, and like their offense wasn't great, but their defense was unbelievable, and it was so annoying. So like anytime you kicked it up, they would just find a way to get to it. But so they were saying, kick it low, and I don't really know how to do that. I just kick it, and I don't think about or try to do anything with it, which maybe I should, but I don't. When they're like kick it low, like I don't know what that means. I don't know how to do that. And it wasn't just me; they were saying it to like everyone. But then the "you don't tell me what to do's" came up inside of me, and I don't know why that came up again, and it bothers me that I don't know what that is. And so when we ran out to the field one of the innings, I just had a private moment with myself. I turned away from the field and the team and stuff, and I was like, "It's okay. They're just trying to help." I was like talking with like my child self. I was trying that out for the first time in a practical way, and like, "You're doing great." They're just trying to help. They want to win. Let's just have fun. And then I felt better after that, but I still didn't do well. Um, uh, It just like caught everything, which is so annoying. And then on the last out, I was the last one up. There were 2 outs, the last inning. We were down by like 7 or something, which is pretty good for playing a team that's literally out of our league. We didn't get mercy ruled, which is great. Played the full game, but so it was up to me, and I kicked it. I kicked it like the best I thought I kicked it this year so far. We only played 2 games last night, but I did it. I had an inside the park home run in the game before this one that was really hard, and that was fun. But and there's someone in front of me that was hurt, so he was like half jogging. Like jogging is half of running, but he was half of jogging, so it was like quarter. He's like might as well have been walking. But I kicked it so good, and he was on first when I kicked it. But I kicked it so long that that as soon as he touched home, I touched home right after him, and that was funny. But I was almost out because it takes a long time for someone to walk around the bases. So anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so I kicked on the last out. I kicked it harder than the home run one, and the guy just got under it, and then he didn't catch it. I was so confused. He literally bumped it like a volleyball to his teammate, and then he caught it for the last out. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me, bro. That hurts. If you could do that in a game, you should be in the highest level. You know what I mean? And they had music playing, which is also a pet peeve of mine, but I know I can't say, hey, don't do music, because I don't know. It's for some reason everyone else is cool with it. So this guy literally has what's it called? A Bluetooth speaker with him in the outfield. Like, that's how confident he is. It was like 10 feet behind him, but like if we kicked it over there, he could have tripped over it, but he didn't care. Like, he was just so chill about everything. I was so mad. But like, I respected it, and like, I'm glad they were having fun and everything. But I wasn't mad at them specifically, but I was mad at them that they were there at all, because they should be in the upper level. But anyway, so that was really annoying. But then like, I just couldn't believe they did that to me. Like, I consider myself the best player on the team, maybe in the league. Who knows? Maybe I should be in the upper league. But like, if they could do that to me, man, like, that makes me feel bad. And then at the end of the game, I was tired, obviously, and just like emotionally ambushed from that thing. Like, I didn't think that was even possible. How do you even think to do that? Anyway, so to bump it to your teammate to catch it for the last out. Frick. So I was just like emotionally ambushed, and I just sat on the bench, and everyone left, and they're like, Tommy, are you good? And I was like, yeah, I'm good. Thanks for checking on me. And then, I wasn't good, but what am I gonna say? Hey, can you guys like hug me or something? Yeah, that's the thing about like asking if someone's okay and you don't know them. It's like, even it takes like a special person to not be like, oh no, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. I feel like most people are like, yeah, I'm fine. It's good. Yeah. And they'd only tell that to like their best friend or like spouse or something. So that's it. Thank you guys for listening. This was like a especially deep one. But that's good too. And I love you guys. Like and subscribe, comment on everything that you feel comfortable doing. I hope this made you think, and keep in touch. Whoopity scoop de poop. Sometimes they tell me in the future editing. I know you're gonna kill this one, bro.